You're listening to Potty Mouth Radio, the home of movies, music, television, and comedy. The following podcast contains spoilers and rude words. We watched the thing. We watched the thing. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to We Watched a Thing with Billy and Dave here on Potty Mouth Radio. How you doing, mate?
I'm all right. I'm exhausted. But I'm on my second wind and I'm having coffee, so...
Well, that's good.
All right.
That's good.
and we watched some things.
We watched some things. They were things that we saw.
Yep.
Before we get into it, just another quick plug. Definitely go check out the rest of the Potty Mouth Radio Network. Half the shows are live now. You can go check out Hunt for the Perfect Album, where Dave and I talk about fantastic music. You can check out the one where we watched, where Noosk and I talk Friends. And not live yet, but just this weekend we had our first D&D campaign, and
that was fun.
It was a lot of fun. So, keep an ear and eye out for that when that eventually drops. But let's get into it. We did watch 2 movies this week. What say we start with Immaculate?
Why not?
All right, let's do it. Immaculate is a 2024 American psychological horror film directed by Michael Mohan from a screenplay by Andrew Lobel. It stars Sydney Sweeney, Alvaro Morte, Benedetta Boccolari, Dora Romano, Giorgio Calagheni, and Simone Tabasco.
It's about as racist as the prequel Star Wars films.
And what is it about, mate?
It's about Cecilia, a young, devout novice who has left her quiet American town, well, not little town where she's from, fucking Boston. I don't know where she's from, America, and has landed a gig over at a convent-y type place in Italy where she's going to take her vows and become a proper nun.
Yeah.
Bride of Christ. And while she's starting to settle in, having not bothered to work a fucking word of the local language, it becomes clear that this convent, much like the entire Catholic religion, could be home to some dark and horrifying secrets.
That sums it up. Let's get into it then. I didn't really have expectations for this film. It's been a really bad year, I think, overall so far, and I've seen a lot of horrors so far this year, and they've all been pretty trash.
Not you.
Sydney Sweeney is someone who I think seems like a pretty cool person, but her performances have been up and down for me. You know,
She's a weird, isn't she? I mean, looks aside, because, you know, in the right role, she can be pretty stunning. But to me, I think she's a genuinely very good actress.
Oh, yeah. Well, she can be for sure.
But she has almost negative screen presence. So in really heightened dramatic scenes, I think she's amazing. But anytime she just has to kind of be there, I almost go to sleep.
That's what you hit it on the head, because I think she can be very good. The first thing I ever saw her in was Handmaid's Tale, when she was like, I don't know how old, 12, 13, and she fucking crushed it. That's an amazing show, and she was incredible in it. I really loved her in season 1 of The White Lotus. I think she's done some really great things, but you hit it exactly on the head there. That's why Anyone But You didn't land for me as much as I wanted it to, because as much as I think she can be great, it's weird. Her stage presence isn't all that strong.
Her best scenes in that, and I was obviously a bit higher on that film than you, but her best scenes in that were where she was being kind of sassy and deprecating with Glenn Powell, and they were bouncing off each other. Anytime it sort of got when they had a break between laughs and it needed to be serious, it's like a vacuum sucked all the charisma out of the scene.
Yeah. Oh, you nailed it. You hit it on the head. So anyway, I didn't really have high expectations coming into this. I knew nothing about it. I hadn't seen a trailer or anything. But I'm hand to heart, so far, this is my number 1 film of the year, Dave. So far, I fucking loved this film.
You have this higher than Dune Part 2.
Yeah, I do.
Oh my God.
I liked Dune Part 2 a lot.
Has
I
Nick
loved this
Haskins
movie.
been giving you whatever drugs
I
he takes?
loved this movie. Let's get into it,
Oh
Dave.
my God.
I need to know your thoughts. Obviously, you're not as high on it as I am. Did you like this movie?
Of course I'm not. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's shit. It's better than like Baghead and some of the other horror crap we've seen.
Fucking great. I'm going to venture out there and say I think, and I said this to our mate Paul Prezula from the Countdown the other day when we were recording our Dungeons and Dragons campaign. In between roles, we had a little bit of a chat about film, and I said to him, "I'm actually not sure if you would like this because he's a massive horror head, and I don't know that this." I would barely call this a horror, really. I mean, it has...
It's not. I mean, without sort of getting into spoilers this early, we will obviously talk about it in a little bit, but leaving aside the finale, the very last coda, which bumped this up a whole extra star for me, probably. Yeah. Leaving that aside, I would say this is a thriller. It's a psychological thriller.
Yeah, I mean, even
you come into it, think it teases you that it's a horror, but it's not.
No, it kind of like... I feel like this transcends several genres. I came in expecting... I'm studying Gothic literature at the moment, which mostly is very kind of based in religion and stuff. And, you know, that's kind of what I expected this to be. This is like... This is schlock. This is like a kind of mashup of like, I spit on your grave and Ready or Not. Kind of like...
I mean, it's one of the things I guess I like about it is that it kind of hides that until the plot starts to unfold, and particularly once you find out more about Alvaro Morte character.
Show it off with your pronunciation.
who I like. You've never got to Money Heist, have you?
No,
Netflix
no.
series. Fuck, you need to watch some of the. It's one of the best shows. So he'll always be the professor from that show for me. He's like the main dude in that. But he's also recently popped up as the character Lagano Blah in Wheel of Time, and he's doing some stuff off the back of outside Spain, off the back of Money Heist. I like him enormously, and I love where his character goes in this.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which is not remotely where you think it's going to go.
Well, that's what I loved about this film. At very little points in this film did I sit there and go, oh, I know what's going to happen next. Like, and even when you think you know what's going to happen next, you don't really. And when we first got the twist, which we'll get to soon, a little bit of my head went, oh man, that's silly. That's a really cheesy, silly twist. How do you pull that off in a film
there's two twists, really?
Yeah. But the film is playing at such a serious level that when you get that twist, and I'm sure you know the one I'm talking about, it sounds very, very silly out loud and on paper, but
the Jurassic Park twist?
The Jurassic Park twist.
Yeah.
But it's executed really, really well.
It works in this film's favor.
I loved this.
Everyone involved is taking it so seriously.
Well, that's the thing. So I already liked Sydney Sweeney. Like I said, I think she seems like a pretty cool person. I mean, Dakota Johnson.
She's producer on this, isn't she?
She is. Dakota Johnson is another one who I think actually just seems like kind of a cool person, regardless of what you think of her acting. She just seems kind of cool. Sydney Sweeney, she actually auditioned for this 10 years ago. She didn't get it. The film went into development hell, never happened, and that's why she then.
So she's really a producer. She
was the one who then said,
"No,
let's go ahead and
do
it
happen."
And apparently, I heard in an interview with her on a podcast that initially, it wasn't a nun. She was a teenage schoolgirl, virgin schoolgirl who got pregnant, and I believe it was the writer or the director at the time who was like, "You can't pull that off. If you're a schoolgirl." People, we've seen you have sex as a schoolgirl multiple times. Like, but yeah,
it may have worked because at no point in this did I question that she's virginal. Whereas if it had been a schoolgirl, you could have played with it for 10, 20 minutes about, maybe she's, had sex with someone
See, but
unsavory. Maybe that's the direction it's going to go.
I don't think you're meant to question it necessarily, and because
I don't think you are. It
this
just
is
would have been another little thing.
This is a nice, tight, short film. This is 90 minutes, and apparently a large part of that is due to the budget. I heard in an interview with the director where he was saying, we didn't have money to shoot anything else, which I find insane because it's a really nice looking film, and I think the production value is great.
Oh, it's cleverly done. Like there's almost no practical effects required.
No,
everything is, but it's all cleverly done off screen.
Oh, yeah.
So the big encounter with Alvaro Morte, all of the very cleverly happens behind a closed door.
Yeah,
but you don't feel they're hiding it. That's the plot. Yeah. That's a part of the plot, and it works. You don't see anything in the very finale, the little coda.
Yeah.
It's just it's purely sound effects that give you any indication.
Sound are fucking good. I can't wait to talk about that scene. Man, I loved this movie. I have tomorrow off, and I've just been sitting at my desk for days now just editing. I think I'm going to go see this again tomorrow, take a little break and treat myself because I loved it that much, honestly.
Have you, as long as you've seen what the films we need to talk about next week?
I haven't yet.
You should go and watch something twice.
I mean, I'm seeing Godzilla vs. Kong tomorrow, so...
no, the good one.
Yeah, I'll get to that.
Good one we're going to talk about. I'll give her props as well. There's no vanity in her performance. She looks as dowdy as shit, which she should for a novice, soon-to-be nun. You expect she's not going to have, big fake lashes and everything.
Yeah.
But like Kristen Stewart in, I want to say Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 1.
Okay.
When she's going through her pregnancy and she literally looks like she's filming something in Auschwitz.
Yeah. I haven't seen that movie, but I know your obsession with teenage vampires.
Oh, fuck off. No, the films are pretty atrocious, but they are very enjoyable when you got it. If you're homesick with flu, binge those 4 movies. You'll get engrossed in them. But I always gave her props because she looks fucking horrendous in them, and not a lot of actresses will make themselves look that ugly, or actors for that matter. When you're that good looking and you're at that sort of level of fame and notoriety, there's a lot of them have a sort of vanity in where they even. Beck Ferguson, I saw being interviewed where she got Denis Villeneuve to remove some of the layers of stuff so that her face was more visible in June because she thought, well, what the fuck am I here if you're going to put a veil over me for the entire film? So I do respect her for, she's going sans bra, she's flopping all over the place.
Yeah.
She's pallid, she looks like shit.
Yeah.
And really commits to it. So
I also think her acting is. I think this is one of the films where she's fucking great. I think, as you said, not much of this film really relies on her having chemistry with any other actors or anything like that. No. This is a one-woman show, and I think she carries this incredibly well. And
I think she does.
There's a lot of drama pulled by her. I think she's fantastic in this film.
I think she's a little lackluster probably through the first act when she's literally just the kind of nervous American who, for some reason, even though she's carrying around a How to Speak Italian book that she's been reading for months, doesn't understand, what is it, Palo Inglese?
Yeah.
Or Palo Italiano? Blankly. Doesn't even say no.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah.
That made me laugh. But the first act is a bit lackluster, but as soon as she starts having to do, the dramatic heavy lifting and the genre elements start to come into play, I think she does very well.
Yeah.
In fact, the cast all I think are pretty good. His customary excellent self.
Yeah.
And what's her name? Benedetta. Slyly checks IMDb. Benedetta Porcaroli, as Sister Gwen, I thought was really good as well.
Yeah,
and she is beautiful. Oh my god, she's an attractive woman.
Yeah,
good, really, really, really good stuff.
Yeah, let's talk about the twist. I'm so desperate to talk about where this story goes with you, because
alrighty.
So, all right,
if you haven't seen it and you have any interest whatsoever, genuinely don't listen to this bit because it will ruin it for you.
Well, that's right. And usually we're just spoilers ahoy. There's a warning at the top of the show.
Yeah.
For this film, I'm telling you, this is such a strong recommend from me. Go watch this, man, because this movie is fucking wild. So I just had so much fucking fun with it. All right, so she's a nun. She gets pregnant somehow. Immaculate conception, all right?
Yep.
And like you said, there's never any question about that. We don't ever wonder, oh, did something happen? It turns out...
Church people buy it very quickly and easily.
Yep, everybody, it's an immaculate conception. She's giving birth to Jesus.
Because they don't actually... I mean, she was really so invasive and horrendous and inappropriate. But when she arrived, they tested to make sure her hymen was intact.
Yeah.
This church is fucked. But they don't do that again.
No, well,
they just take her. They say, "Have you had Congress with anyone since you've been here?" No. They turn to the Mother Superior or whatever. Have any strangers been here? No. Yeah. Oh well, it must be an immaculate conception.
It could be.
No one points the finger at the kind of dusky bearded priest of Baramorte.
We're not sure because there are a lot of time jumps towards the latter half of this film where we jump through the pregnancy pretty quickly. So I wasn't sure if maybe they did and we just skipped over it. I don't know because my first thought was, oh shit, was she raped? Because there is that scene where she kind of passes out when she picks up Jesus's nail, which they somehow have
after Alvaro has given her a lot of wine.
But so it turns out what's happened is that he not only is he a priest, he is a genetic scientist. They found Jesus's nail from the crucifix. It still has DNA on it, and they're cloning little baby Jesus inside of her stomach. It's fucking wild.
Because dried blood will still be okay after 2,000 years. Yeah. Not encased in amber, just on a bit of rusty old iron.
And then shit just goes wild. From there, that's where it really turns into her just like being, fuck you, church. There is literally a scene in this film where a pregnant nun strangles a priest-like figure with a set of rosemary beads, and I am all for it.
His neck bleeds. How sharp are those fucking rosary beads?
She smushes a chicken inside of her to act like she's having a miscarriage. Like
I thought she just like bled it out, so she had blood everywhere.
Yes,
and you put a dead thing up yourself.
Yes.
Oh God, did she need to do that?
Yeah, I was the same. I thought she just put blood everywhere.
Around. You don't need to insert things.
It was this movie is such a wild, fun ride. The final sequence, which is all one take. For me, it's one of the best oneers we've had in ages. Like, I know that sounds silly. There's going to be people out there.
It was refreshing after the 45 minutes walking through tunnels, I can tell you that.
I know there are going to be people whinging about, this isn't that. It's not a fancy shot. That's why it works. She finally gets out of the tunnels. She just hunches down and gives birth to this thing. It's just like a minute-long shot of her face as she screams and gives birth.
Every time I thought it was the last scream, there was one more.
The sound design is incredible. That we don't actually see this fetus at all. It just drops, and all you hear is like this wheezing, like a pug or something. And she just walks over,
sounds like Belial from Basket Case.
Picks up this massive fucking boulder and just crushes it. And boom, cut to credits. I loved it so much. I honestly cannot wait to watch this film again.
My question's about the ending.
Yeah.
So we're pretty sure she didn't kill Jesus.
No.
It becomes her visions and all the things that are going wrong. She becomes more and more certain this what you've put in me is that was not Jesus' DNA. It was something else.
Or even if it was Jesus' DNA, it's somehow fucked. It's, Antichrist.
That's not what the Antichrist is.
Antichrist is fuck Jesus. It's like the opposite of Jesus. It's fucky Jesus.
Son of Satan. It's not Jesus 2.0. So we're assuming it's not only is it not holy.
Yeah.
It's actively unholy because she's having these horrible visions. The sound effects of this thing are not a baby crying. It sounds like a fucking reptilian whatever. So what DNA was it? Did Jesus' DNA go bad because it wasn't preserved in amber, and so it was just bad Jesus, or was it somehow not Jesus's nail? And because they do drop a couple of hints with underlined Bible passages or whatever about the thing about the devil, Lucifer will masquerade as Jesus and to confuse. So presumably scientist guy has been led astray, not by visions from God, but by visions from the devil or something. And that has led him to try and bring forth the Antichrist.
I mean, yeah, I think there's lots of different ways that you could read it or see it. I mean, for starters, it could just be as simple as it's just a failure. And like we've seen that. There's that scene where she's in his kind of little science lab and there's all the fucked fetuses around. It's like maybe...
Fucking what's her name's room from Ballad of Songs and Snakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Just got a random horror show of beakers.
Exactly. And it's like, okay, so maybe whatever he did just didn't work. Like maybe it is Jesus's DNA and he just is not good enough to bring it back.
I mean, I would love how dark that makes the ending, that she is literally killing God's offspring, because that's pretty fucking black.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many... I mean, if you want to get thematic about it, which maybe this film is, I mean, this guy is literally playing God, which is... I mean, effectively, it's a sin. It's a sin to play God. Like that's...
he's Dr. Moreau.
Yeah, so, maybe it is the Antichrist. Like I said, maybe it's fuck you, Jesus. So, well, I mean...
Do we assume she's dead too, at the end?
No.
She's out in the middle of nowhere. She's given birth. She's bleeding all over the place. She's got that appears to be on the side of a fucking cliff.
Nah, man. I want Immaculate too. I like to think... I like to think
pregnant again. I would love that and just have a John McClane style. How can the same thing happen to the same person twice?
But now it's in an airport instead of a convent. No, man. I love this movie. Honestly, look, I'm going to go 9 out of 10. But when I rewatch it tomorrow, there's a really strong chance that lifts to a 10. I was so strong on this film. Where are you?
Oh, look, I was probably a 6 until the finale, but I'll go to a 7. I'll go to a 7 because the ending was fucking wild.
Oh, I can't wait for our best of the year list where I bring this up because it's going to be there.
Look, the best thing about you giving this such a ridiculous score is that it might keep Godzilla v. Kong out of the fucking top spot.
You know what? I was reading reviews today for people who saw Godzilla x Kong early.
Don't care.
And they've been really strong. People have been saying it's really good. So I'm keen.
There were people who liked the last one, like you. Those people are crazy.
Speaking of crazy people who liked the last one, shall we talk about a really shit film that we watched called Ghostbusters Frozen Empire?
Oh, fuck yeah. All right.
So, all right. You didn't fight me on that, so I'm guessing maybe you feel the same way I do about this one. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is a 2024 American supernatural comedy film directed by Gil Keenan from a screenplay he co-wrote with Jason Reitman. Sequel, of course, to Ghostbusters Afterlife and the 5th film in the Ghostbusters franchise. It stars Paul Rudd, Carrie Coon, Finn Wolfhard, McKenna Grace, Celeste O'Connor, and Logan Kim reprising their roles, alongside Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, Annie Potts, and William Matheson reprising their roles from the earlier films, as well as Kumail Nanjiani, Patton Oswalt, Emily Ainland, and James Acaster. I don't want to talk about this one for long. I mean, we did basically a full episode just then on Immaculate. Let's just give this the once over. It's not good. I didn't actually see Afterlife, and I know you and I feel much the same way about the original Ghostbusters in that it's an overrated film.
I think it's a good film. I just don't think it's like a 3. I put it in the same ballpark as other, and I think Paul said something much the same on the countdown about this. In the 80s, you could have family films that had very adult humor.
Yeah.
So I mean, Ghostbusters 1, you know, Stripes was probably less of a family film, but it's just of the same ilk.
Yeah.
Things like Caddyshack. There were those sort of semi-raunchy, but not necessarily over-the-top boobs in your face raunchy. They were just kind of very adult jokes and things that would now be inappropriate, like Venkman being a borderline sex offender in the opening scene.
Yeah.
Obviously, none of that is in these new Reitman films.
Yeah.
You got a little bit of it in the Paul Feig reboot, which I didn't mind. I thought it was quite an amusing film.
Yeah.
Everyone else fucking hated on it because they've got the originals up on some weird pedestal. I thought it was perfectly fine and better than Ghostbusters 2, probably.
Yeah.
Afterlife, I thought was utterly forgettable.
Yeah.
Until the finale, which was beyond abysmal.
Oh, okay.
It was alongside on par with that fucking boat ride at the end of Iron Claw, as just you vomiting in your popcorn bucket at how emotionally manipulative and schmaltzy and saccharine, and just it was disgusting. It was an attempt to tug on heartstrings, really, blatantly and over the top, tugging on heartstrings, supposedly in tribute to Harold Ramis. I found it so distasteful it almost it dropped my score by full two stars.
My problem with this film is just that I think it's charmless. I just think this film has almost nothing to offer. I think the only person who's really trying and is funny at all is Kumail Nanjiani, and I think that the cast has too many players and too many pieces.
Oh, God, just let the original cast go.
This is so busy. There's like 40 people that you're supposed to focus on in this film.
Why have we got fucking podcast back? Oh, my God, just the most annoying fucking character
Lucky?
in
I mean, I think all of the children
Lucky
are
I like. Lucky I like fine. But why is she even in this?
What the fuck is Finn Wolfhard even doing? Like, fuck all these people.
Fuck Finn Wolfhard in everything ever. I can't stand him. But the last film was set out in the fucking boonies in this little town.
Yeah.
And it concerns, obviously, Harold Ramis's daughter and her kids. And then, Paul Rudd sort of comes in as, ultimately a romantic interest and they're a little family unit. Fine. At the end of that, they kind of don their boiler suits and become Ghostbusters and whatever. Ernie Hudson buys the old firehouse in New York and opens it up, and lo and behold, they move in there into New York and they're the Ghostbusters. Fine. Why the fuck are Podcast and Lucky in New York? They're from buttfuck Idaho as well. They're not part of the family. Why did they move to New York?
I don't know.
I mean, presumably
to
work in Dan Aykroyd's little science lab thing.
Yeah.
Are they the best scientists you can get to work in this multi-million-dollar cutting-edge paranormal research facility?
Yeah.
An annoying fucking kid and, some schoolgirl?
Yeah.
What? Just shit lazy writing. And I think the good bits, and there were things I enjoyed in this. I think, as in the previous film, by far because Carrie Coon's completely underutilized and may as well not even be there. She's shortchanged, and she's a good actress. It's terrible. But by far the best thing in the last one was McKenna Grace's Phoebe Spengler, the daughter.
See, again, I've heard lots of people say that about this one. I thought she was fine. I kind of just didn't give a shit.
They spend so much screen time on fucking Finn Wolfhard and Slimer and all this other shit that they should have just cut out completely, that what could have been a really nice heart to the film, which is her kind of feeling like she's been shelved and the family's moving on and she can't be part of the thing that she is. She's the one that kicked it all off. No one believed her about the ghosts and shit in Afterlife. She's the one that basically made that whole film happen.
Yeah.
And now she's been benched and she's a 16-year-old kid. I can understand. You could have played with that and given more time to that and actually had a nice heart to the film of her feeling like the family's cast her aside. And then she meets, again, so shortchanged, great actress given not enough to do. Emily Ellen Lind, one of the Ellen Lind sisters, all three of them are good actresses. I can't remember which one it is. The one that was Snakebite Andy and Dr. Sleep. That sort of what I think is fairly clearly a potentially budding lesbian relationship that is given no fucking room to breathe at all.
Yeah.
So the kind of culmination of it falls flat because you haven't been given enough time to care about these. And the whole fucking, sure, I'll take my entire spirit out of my body in this thing that we've never tested on a human before. I mean, that's why it's obviously a lesbian. The only reason to do that is so you can physically touch her.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can sit, you can talk, you can play chess. The only thing you can't do is get it on. All right, I'll risk death, eternal damnation, whatever. Fucking stupid. The thing that really annoyed me, they get the fucking bowling ball of evil.
Yeah.
That Kumail Nanjiano's selling off all these grannies stuff for, from the fucking panic room of dire portent. Dan Aykroyd looks at the thing, goes, "Oh, this seems like this is exploded my fucking ecto gizmo thing.
Yeah.
It's obviously bubbling over with supernatural energy." They take it to the place where they extract ghosts and shit. It fucking breaks the evil detector.
Yeah.
It full on, it blows up the evil detector. So they just leave it lying on the counter and fuck off.
I thought the same thing. Yeah.
You have a machine that is designed to detect evil paranormal shit.
Yep.
And this thing broke it. It should be going into the deepest, darkest vault of whatever, not left on the counter with some staplers and a pencil.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the laziest fucking writing.
I've just found the whole thing lazy. And see, here is my problem with it. Not once in this film did I laugh. Not once in this film did I cry. Not once in this film did I care.
Oh, you fucking cried.
I just didn't care. I sat there looking at the screen, and I'm a person who loves the cinema. I go to the cinema 2-3 times a week just because it's my happy place, and I just sat there feeling absolutely nothing.
I literally found myself involuntarily out loud going, "Oh, Jesus Christ."
See, I didn't even have that. That's how little I cared.
Writing.
I didn't even have that.
There were moments in this I just went, how the fuck is this even?
Like, and it's for that reason alone. I said before Immaculate's going to be in my top of the year list. This is 100% going to be in my worst of the year list. And I'm not, like I said, I hold no great love for the original Ghostbusters. I'm not like angry about my nostalgia.
I just that's not even a thing.
No, I just did not. This is just so lifeless.
That was one other thing. Fuck it, just I can get it off my chest. I thought the design on the big bad was kind of cool. It looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Considering the budget on this was not a lot. No, Sony are not spending a lot of money on this franchise because it's too niche and no one gives a shit. No one's spending $1 billion going to see this thing. So they didn't have a lot of money, and God knows they would have spent most of it on the cast. So I understand that the CG looks a bit shit. Fine. But this thing's power is cold. How cold do you need to be to freeze light?
To freeze light? What? When does he freeze light?
They fire the fucking proton things, which are essentially like, it's photons.
Yeah, it's a light ray.
It's lightning. It freezes it and shatters the beam.
I cared so little I didn't even notice that. That's fucked.
It's a beam of light. I know your special effects is shit, but that doesn't. It's light. You can't freeze light. Oh, this fucking dumbass movie. Jesus Christ. And all the fucking little Stay Puft. Yeah, let's stop talking about it. It's making me more. My score's going down half a point every 30 seconds.
Mine can't go down. I'm a 1 out of 10. This is honestly, it's so lifeless. There's no care put into this movie from a single person. Not a single actor on this screen cares about it. Not a single person behind the screen cares about it. And like you say, the budget's not high. I don't know why the fuck it happened. Because if you're gonna make something, I don't know. As an artist, it makes me angry because
I'm sure Jason Reitman is the guy making these things happen. Well, it's his dad's. It's not like he's going to make sequels to any of his dad's other. No one's making fucking Twins 2 or whatever other. You know what? I don't think they're far off Twins 2. Fuck me.
So I'm a 1 out of 10. I couldn't have hated this movie more. Where are you?
Look, I'm a 2.5. It's not good. and it's way too long, and I really felt the runtime. But I did genuinely like the scenes with Emily Allen Lind and McKenna Grace. I thought they were very nice. The chess, playing the chess and all the rest of it. I liked that. I thought Paul Rudd had a couple of funny moments. Bringing in the theme song, I thought was kind of,
he was barely in it. I reckon he was in 3 scenes.
Oh no, he was in more than that. He was in it. After McKenna Grace, he was probably the most screen time. Carrie Coon was barely there. Finn Wolfhard was there too much, but he's too much in everything. He's in Stranger Things too much. I can't stand him. I don't know why he keeps getting work. He's a fucking terrible actor. He's annoying as shit.
You sound like Topher. He always hated Finn Wolfhard as well.
Good, because he's shit. And James Acaster, who I like as a comedian, but he's so horrendously out. He is not a good actor. He's a good comedian.
Yeah.
But it's like sticking Stephen Wright in something.
Yeah, yeah.
He always sticks out like a sore thumb because he's just Stephen Wright. And James Acaster is the same. And it's only because they didn't have a nerdy scientist, because obviously Ramis isn't around anymore. So
yeah.
Who can we get that's equally socially awkward and sounds nerdy?
Yeah. All right. Let's stop this. Just bad movie. Bad movie all around. Could not give a shit. Next week, though, is going to be awesome, because next week we're watching a film that I know that you liked, Stop Motion, which I haven't watched yet.
Oh, yeah.
New Shudder original. And we're also watching a movie that I know I'm going to like in Godzilla X Kong. So I think next week is going to be fun all round. Can't wait for that.
I can't wait for that.
In the meantime, if you want to get in touch with us, you can do that at pottymouthradio.com or pottymouthradio@gmail.com. If you want to help support us, you can do that at patreon.com/pottymouthradio, where you can support any of the shows on the network, get early access to this and others, including Hunt for the Perfect Album, which we're about to record. And that's it. We'll catch you next week.
Goodbye. Don't see Ghostbusters.